Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Dual Screens podcast. I am one of your hosts, Stephen Fontana, and with me, as always, he's over there in that other box. He's Andy Esimakis. How are you, Andy?
I feel fresh today, Stephen.
Yeah?
Got a haircut.
I was going to say.
A little beard trim going on. He cut like that way.
Interesting.
And like there's like a little birthmark thing here that's like more visible than usual. May got to get that checked out.
I was nervous that you didn't know that the birthmark was there.
No, I knew it was there. It's just more. It's more
prominent. It was hidden under quarantine for quite a while.
Oh, it's my third nipple. That's what that is.
Oh, my goodness. Is it? Never mind. I'm not going to ask. With us this week is Beyer, the literal face of Returnal. That's right. Sony's upcoming sci-fi roguelike shooter for the PlayStation 5, which Andy and I have been salivating over for months now, and we cannot wait to get our hands on this very soon.
Way too much.
Very, very soon. And welcome to the show. Thank you so much for being here.
Hi, thank you so much for having me.
This is going to be fun because Andy has an interesting story as to how this whole thing happened. So why don't we start there? Because I think that's going to set the tone for this show.
It will.
Andy, how did we get this one on the schedule?
So I think after watching the trailers and dev diaries for Returnal like the 100th time in one sitting, just back to back watching, salivating, I was like, I love this person's voice. I need this voice on the show. I need it. I want it. I'm going to get it. Did some Google searches, found Anne's name tied to Returnal. I was like, cool, awesome. Sent her an Instagram message, basically a thesis saying how much I love her performance, the voice. I need you. I want it. She's like, and then she replies back, oh my God, that's so great. But I'm not the voice of this character. I'm just the face. So I was like, cool. I still want you to come on the show because that's the thing you can talk about. And here we are today.
I'm just the face.
but you know what though? You're not the first face we've had on the show. We've had models that are playing very, very famous characters. We had the model for Sub-Zero in the most recent Mortal Kombat video game on the show as well. And that was a great show. That was really, really awesome. I think we became friends with them. And I believe we have a beer date. We have a bar date.
We do.
I think. Yeah, right. We still have that. We still have that one with Tony. So, and let's start off with, how did you become the face of the main character? Which do we even have a name? Selena. That's right.
Selena.
Selena. So, how did you become the face of Selena? What was that process like?
Well, I told my manager at the time that I really wanted to be in a computer game. Video game. My husband, he is a gamer. He works for Blizzard and for other, companies. So I thought, like, hey, I should test the waters. And I told my manager, I really want to be on a video game, no matter how, what, where. Just want to be on one. So he kept bugging Sony, and he kept submitting my reel, my face, my everything. And one day they are like, actually, we have something for her. And I'm like, cool. So they sent me the time and the place. And I drove down to Sony International. And there I was. I had no idea what I got myself into. They didn't tell me anything. Right. I thought I was a character drowning somewhere. And but we can go more into that later if you want. But so that's how I actually got the role.
So what was your experience? What is your career experience leading up to this? Like, so what is your expertise? What would you say that would be? I'm
a TV, film and TV actress for about 20 years now.
Nice.
Have worked with amazing talent such as J.K. Simmons, Pamela Adlon, Gary Oldman, David Fincher as a director, and many amazing artists. And so I wanted to branch out a little bit to try something else.
No, I mean that's incredible. That you often see that like these things kind of go one of two ways. Either the directors of these video games, they either go for the celebrity because they want to bring a recognizable face to their project. or they go for the people that have the really high-end motion capture experience or voice actor experience, because it is such an intensive project, and the scripts are usually much longer than your standard, film or something like that. So it's very rare that you find this kind of middle ground where they're able to get somebody without the experience of doing the games, but also not necessarily your household name, like I don't know who is the most recent example. Who was it for Call of Duty, Andy? And then he got I'm forgetting his name.
You're asking me about a Call of Duty game?
The actor. Why am I blanking on his name? Who's not going to do any movies anymore because he was doing stuff with boys. What the hell is his name?
Oh, wait.
He's famous. He's like super famous, and I'm just blanking on his name. Anyway, but
Kevin Spacey?
That's it.
Okay.
So they bring in these celebrities because they want this face. So it's just really cool to see that, like, games and as the number one entertainment industry on the planet, starting to merge and be taken a little bit more seriously in the overall entertainment industry. Did that have any sort of anything to do with the reasoning for you wanting to try this new thing? Is it just because it's in your life, you see it every day, and it was just like an intriguing thing? Or is this more of I'm reading the tea leaves, like the industry's going in this direction and I want to be a part of it?
No, it's pretty much just that I wanted to try something else. And again, my husband, he works for a gaming company, and he's also a voiceover actor. So I just thought, like, why not trying this field of our industry? It's all acting. It really is. I mean, we had a face director there along with Harry Kruger, the director of Returnal. And it was real acting. I was very surprised how much we were going into details with facial expressions. So it was very exciting. It's almost like a silent film, right? You don't have any words to rely on. You don't have the full storyline either. So it was literally just like, hey, you imagine you just drowned and now you're coming out of the water in your first breath. And that's actually the scene you see in the trailer when I'm like, yeah. So it was like, now imagine that. Now imagine you're fighting your worst enemies in front of you, and you first look at them and you scan them with your eyes, and then you start fighting them. So the whole like acting on cue, like, for us actors, is always, can you cry on cue? Some can, some can't. So for me, it was like, okay, be mad on cue, drown on cue. And it was just, it was exciting. Yeah.
Yeah, I think what happened, Anne, is like you woke up one day, splash them on your face, and were like, this face belongs in a video game. That's how it went down.
That's the origin story.
Well, one fun aspect as well was that I had no idea what it was for. So I asked Harry, I'm like, so when will I know what it's for? Like, how will I find out? And he's like, believe me, you will see your face everywhere. And I'm like, okay, I guess I have to wait.
So the first time the first time you saw your face, what was that experience like?
It was a friend of mine from Germany who sent me a picture saying, like, is this you? Because during that time, I still had blonde hair. I looked exactly like Selena, like blonde hair, the part here and stuff. And he's like, is that you? And I'm like, oh my gosh, where did you find that? And it's like, it's all over the internet right now. And so I looked it up and was like, oh boy. And then just all the emails came in, all the text messages came in. Is that you? Is that you? And now it's all over the world. I mean, literally, I lived in 4 different countries, worked and lived in 4 different countries. And from all 4 different countries, I get text messages and pictures. And yeah, they're all very excited. As am I.
What has this done for your career? Because, being in TV and film, but gaming is a whole different kind of reach. And now you're the face of a really huge, major title for a first-party game, exclusive game for PlayStation 5. What's that like for you? Like the exposure of it?
So what is very interesting is that no one really knows, who doesn't know me personally, no one knows it's me, because Sony is not releasing anything until April. 30th. So people are speculating. I read articles where people thought my face is, I am the girl from Game of Thrones, the blonde girl. I forgot her name, but people are speculating who that actress could be, and they're waiting for the big announcement. And I'm just like, please don't be disappointed. It's just Ann Beyer. It's no one famous.
But what does that do though? Like, why the secrecy? It's not like it's a huge collaboration with some like major, like, blockbusters. Like it's Steven Seagal is in our game, guys. It just, I don't understand why keep it under hush hush.
I have no idea. I don't know. But from the moment I stepped onto the Sony lot, I had to sign all kinds of NDAs. And they wouldn't even tell me what it was about.
Wow. So, I mean, that's such a completely different beast. Like, I've been on films where there's like a code name, right? Because they don't want to, either they don't know the title or they're just keeping it hush, like, because they're recording something in secret on like, I live in New York City, so sometimes they'll be recording something on a random block and you're like, oh, who is it? And they'll use like fake names for actors on trailers and like they'll use it, whatever. But typically, that project is being filmed somewhere. They're just kind of keeping it secret there. In gaming, they keep these projects a secret. Before you even got involved in Returnal, that game was probably in development for at least 2 years. And nobody knew. 4 years before you got involved. So they didn't even know, nobody knew that this game was in existence for 4 years. That's got to be a weird thing as an actor being in this industry as long as you have, to now have to kind of almost relearn PR. Like, what was that like for you to adjust to all that? It's just like you did the gig and then you just try and forget that you did the gig.
Yeah, which is torture for an actor, right? I mean, we live, especially film and TV, we live for the end product, right? We want to see what the whole team is doing, because being on a movie set, it's teamwork. You have director, editor, your co-stars, whatever. So you want to watch the end product, and not knowing when the end product will come out and not knowing what it is, and just, so yeah, it was torture for sure. And now it's like, now I don't even know how to handle it, to be honest. I'm like, I switched on the TV and there's this huge trailer and it's like my face is everywhere. And I'm like, this is weird. This is really weird.
What's it like hearing a different woman's voice come out of your face?
Oh, she makes me look good.
Does your husband ever say to you, like, no, talk like Selena would? He probably will once he has the game and plays it. Yeah,
so
for hours and hours.
You knew that you were at least fighting something. You knew that this was a dramatic role, that it had some sort of action in it. But when you first saw the universe that your face is in, what were your initial thoughts on that?
Yes.
Yeah.
Literally, it was like hearing, of course, after that, I watched all the interviews with Harry and Housemarque and all them. And hearing that he was looking for the right face for the sci-fi psychological horror thriller. I'm like, this is so my genre. This is like what I love to do. And now seeing myself in this world, I love it. This is so freaking awesome. I hope one day they want to make a European film out of that game and cast me as the lead actress. That is my hope.
Let's do it. Start the petition now.
It's like future-proofing your career at this point.
Yeah.
There's going to be a feature film at some point, and
go for it.
Face? Like, it's my face.
Yeah.
Yes, and voice and body.
And then they're going to cast Danny DeVito.
Yeah, right. What's Danny doing these days? Anything. I've heard he's doing anything, literally.
Yes.
So did you know, like, did you look up Housemarque's pedigree after the fact? Like, when you found out like what Housemarque is, what kind of games they're known for, do you know how big of a seismic shift this is for them creatively to make Returnal?
Yeah. Yeah, and I'm so excited and so honored. Really, I'm very, very honored to be part of this years and years of work and dream they had as a team. So I'm just so blessed to be in Returnal. Yeah.
Do you think this will turn you into a gamer at some point? Because we had talked offline. You were saying how you don't really play a lot of video games, and this is a huge thing because it's your first step into something that's different, and it's a whole new genre for you in the medium. Now, seeing yourself in a video game, does sitting down one day with a controller, how does that settle in for you at some point?
Well,
Make a gamer out of you.
Well, we were actually on the 30th. I will play on Twitch this game.
Oh, wow.
And you guys can watch me play me as Selena and totally wrecking it probably because I have no idea what I'm doing.
Good. For a roguelike as a first.
Yeah, that's something.
It's going to go over really well.
Using both thumbsticks. This is going to be good. This is great. Yeah,
So I grew up in that age where we were still playing Game Boys. That is literally, I don't know. I grew up with Atari computers.
Sure.
That's how old I am.
Yeah. You're just about where we are. Don't worry about that.
We're quite literally right there.
I had the Intellivision. I had Coleco, but it wasn't new when I got it. But I still grew up playing it.
Right. You're just more accomplished. That's the only difference between.
Yeah, exactly.
Between us,
you've done something with your life.
Your life has meaning.
Oh man, this is good. This is going to be interesting to see because right now there's a perceived drought coming from this next generation of consoles. There's no real huge AAA titles that have been coming out for these consoles.
Like system sellers,
exclusive system sellers for that matter. And I know that's kind of getting in the weeds, and you might not be like into that whole thing, but from our perspective, where we have our ear to the ground and we see kind of what's being spoken about, within the communities, there's kind of a lot riding on this game. This is going to be the first true showing for the PlayStation 5. Not only that, but it's the first true showing from Housemarque. It's the first of it's kind of the first of its genre in a way. We haven't really seen anything like this. So there's a lot of firsts. You're not the only first in this that's riding on this thing. When you speak about this game to people now, like whatever you can tell them, you don't know much, but do you get a sense that there's kind of a lot riding on this thing for you, or what is that? What are those conversations like with people that are in the industry? I'm sure some, or other gamers.
Well, again, I don't know anything about games. All I know is that I would tell them a little bit about the storyline, that Selena is an astronaut who lands on an alien planet called Atropos, and that it's like a Groundhog Day. Every time she dies, she wakes up again, and the environment changes again. It's exciting to play. It's a what's the expression? A three-person player,
third person shooter. Yeah.
This is how much I know about gaming. Okay. So that's just what I'm telling them, and I'm telling them, you can play as me. This is all you need to know. You can play as me. Go and get the game. That's all I'm saying. Yeah. There's not much I can say.
How much did you actually film? Like, if you were to quantify it into hours, how many hours did you put into filming this capture?
We filmed a whole day, probably about 8 hours. Yeah.
So are they using, like, I mean, to the best of your knowledge, they're taking your skeletal structure and how the muscles in your face move, but then they're going to take that and kind of let another puppeteer move everything around in the environments? Is that how that's to the best of your knowledge, how that works?
I think so, yeah. So, you get all the dots everywhere on your face, and then they're trying out, how to move it and stuff like that. And then they have the face modeler, the person who does the face modeling, and then they see if it works. And then they go through certain scenarios. like what I said, anger,
Right.
crying, and everything in between. Also, mouth movements and stuff like that. And then they put it all together, I guess, and animated a little bit. And yeah.
Wow.
Well, something very interesting. I mean, I'm an actress living in Hollywood, so we kind of sometimes have a little bit of Botox, right? So my Botox was almost wearing off, but it was just a little bit left right here. And the director kept saying, more angry. And I'm like, oh.
My face can't do angry right now.
And he's like, come on, just squint a little bit more. And I'm like, okay, I'm trying everything I can. but I'm German. And usually those are really, really strong. So they were still really strong, but they wanted to be even stronger. And in the end, I could deliver, but I thought like, oh boy, I'm so glad my Botox wore off, like to the point that I could actually move again.
Yeah, you'll get those notes like, okay, Anne, great first take, but your anger, sadness, joy, all look kind of the same. More range, please.
We gotta stop working with these Hollywood types. They're dang Botox. I mean, that's something you don't even think about. Like, I never thought about that. Like, yeah, of course, there's things like that that you never even thought could be a hurdle to get through. Not as an actor or as a director for capturing those moments. Like, who would have like, nobody warned you. Like, hey, we're gonna put a lot of dots on your face. Right. So can you make sure that your skin can move? Like, they didn't like warn you with that. That is very fascinating to me.
No one asked. Yeah.
The more you know.
Never asked. Yep.
These are all things you should consider on a set like this. You never know.
Yeah, never Botox ever again. No, that's like, no, I don't want to do more of those.
Unless you know that there's no other side gigs for gaming coming up. Like, okay, I'm going to be doing this show or this movie for the next 3 weeks. I'm going to get my Botox. Let's go.
That's right.
And then okay, we're going to have a close up. We need you to give us your most angry face. Oh no, not a damn you, Botox.
Having done this now as a more of a personal challenge, like you want to see what can you do in this space. When will you dive back in the gaming space as an actor again? Are you eager for that? Are you hungry for more, to do more work in gaming?
Definitely. And it definitely has opened up, in like internal in our industry. Of course, my agent is pushing me through to gaming gigs, mocap, even voiceover. And
oh, for sure. I was going to say your voice needs to be in the game.
Oh, thank you. So I have some amazing auditions with some really well-known casting directors in that field. Emily Schweber, she casts all the amazing video games. So I had great auditions for and with her. So yeah, now it's just actually booking something, and they actually were asking for my voice as well. So
nice.
Good.
This would be the full body, including face, including voice. And, yeah.
That's awesome. All right, looking at the clock here,
I think we should dive into some rapid fire.
I think so too. I think this is a good one. I like this.
Yeah.
I like this episode because it's a little different, but it's also the same. Does that make sense? Like, it has the DNA of what makes us us. You know what I mean? So yeah, now we're gonna get into rapid fire, and this is when we're gonna get to know you at your core. We're gonna ask you some strange questions, and we just want to get your off the cuff answers, whatever comes to mind. Some of these are gonna get weird. Some of them are gonna be a simple. So I'm gonna give you a simple one that you can answer, pretty easily. Pineapple on pizza, yes or no?
Oh, definitely. This is what we had every Christmas. Yeah, when I grew up.
Every Christmas.
That's a holiday meal, Andy.
Yeah, it is a holiday meal for the Beyer family. Yeah.
Wow, I love that.
How did that tradition start?
I have no idea. But honestly, in Germany for Christmas Eve, which is on the 24th, that's for us Christmas. You just go to church and you come home, and it has to be something fast. So yeah.
Got it. I could go into a whole other podcast of what that entire exchange was. just like deconstructing that part of your life. Okay. Would you rather have a real life pause button for your life or a rewind button?
Rewind.
Yeah, I have a feeling that's
undo that Botox.
Yeah, let's undo that. Let's figure that part out. Okay, would you rather permanently have rollerblades or roller skates on, or would you permanently like to have wings?
Wings. Did anyone ever answer anything?
I don't know.
else?
Like, life could be weird with wings. Who knows?
Really? No. Wings. I love dreaming that I'm flying. Yeah.
I'm always falling in my dreams. Or are those nightmares? I don't know what that's about.
But I will catch you with my wings.
There you go.
Aw, that's really sweet.
There you go.
That's actually really sweet. When you're going about your day, Anne, and you're thinking about how you are going to be the face of this huge blockbuster game for the PlayStation 5, and you're getting dressed, and you have your socks and your shoes beside you, is it sock, shoe, or sock, shoe?
Sock, shoe.
There's not one person on Earth so far that has answered the other one. Like,
you know what? We ask so we can find them at some point.
That's what we're doing. We're trying to weed out the
and then call the FBI, call the CIA.
Yep, I got it. Call Vice so they could do the documentary about this.
Difference in the world, Stephen.
They could find the bodies. Jeffrey Dahmer will be in the basement. All right. Where are we going with this? Hold on. I'm thinking. Okay, so I think I know the answer to this, but I still want to ask. Would you rather be able to fly, or would you rather be able to go invisible?
Well, since I have wings anyway already, so I can fly. So
I love how it's all.
Want to be invisible.
This is all linear. I like this. This is all becoming canon for Anne. This is,
yeah.
And Beyer's superhero origin.
Her backstory. She has wings. She eats pineapple on pizza while she's being invisible because no one should be eating that. So it makes total sense.
We know exactly how to shoot the getting the costume on like montage. Sock, shoe. We're figuring this out. We're figuring this out. Go ahead, Andy.
This is the Returnal sequel plot, in case you were wondering. Is cereal a soup?
Pardon?
Breakfast cereal.
Is cereal breakfast cereal?
Yeah.
Is it a soup?
Is breakfast cereal a soup? Oh, you mean for me if I put more milk in there?
Do you classify it as a soup when you're pouring that?
No.
All right, listen. That's okay. That's okay.
Yeah,
that's okay. Listen, I'm not gonna. Whatever. Okay, I'm not getting into the semantics of the argument of cereal, breakfast cereal being soup, cereal and milk being a soup. What was the dumbest way you have injured yourself?
Oh, just a couple of years ago when I tripped over my dog's toy and broke my foot.
Ow.
Yeah.
How does one? Man, I can't imagine. Like a foot has a lot of bones in it.
Yeah. I broke like the whole side of it. And I have big dogs. I have Great Danes, so they need big toys.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So.
Wow. Andy.
What would your own personal Returnal / Groundhog's Day scenario look like? What day would repeat for you over and over again?
The worst audition in my life, probably.
Yeah.
When I took like new allergy pills and I arrived and I felt like I was stoned and I couldn't memorize my lines. And being in LA, they probably thought I was stoned. So I had to tell my manager, please tell them I'm on a new medication.
Oh, man.
Didn't work out that well.
That sucks. I'm sorry that happened to you.
Okay.
Let's think of a couple of good ones and then we'll try and wrap it up. So you know video games, like you know them, you're basically married to video games at this point.
Okay.
What is a franchise, a video game franchise or intellectual property that you would really want to be a part of?
franchise, as in Call of Duty or something?
Yeah, like Call of Duty,
Yeah.
Grand Theft Auto, or whatever, Uncharted, just
I
Halo.
don't know too many of that, but this Returnal thing sounds really good.
Yeah.
There it is.
Stick with it. Why not?
See, that's the good part about this. And is like, if this thing is like sells like gangbusters, it's like we do a part 2. It's like the phone's waiting over here. Give me a call, guys. I'm ready to rock and roll. How soon can we get your husband on the show?
Oh,
To talk about Duel.
I don't know. He's not here right now. I can't ask him.
well, we'll tune into your Twitch stream and we'll see. If
All
we
right,
can find
I'll take J.K. Simmons if I have to.
Yeah, he's done things.
Yeah, right. And
He's actually
so nice.
a super accomplished voice actor.
Oh yeah.
Right.
Like
Yeah.
super accomplished.
And so is Pamela Adlon. I mean, working with her, it was just I was on Better Things. You guys can still watch it. It's still out, the last season. And Pamela, of course, she directed it and she's starring in it. And the way she makes us feel comfortable is just amazing. She does all her voices and plays games with us before the shoot. And yeah, she's just awesome. Yeah.
Oh, we could stay on that track. What was your favorite project you ever worked on?
That would probably be Better Things, even though Counterpart, opposite J.K. Simmons and Betty Gabriel and all the Harry Lloyd and all the amazing actors, Olivia Williams, was pretty awesome too. And I worked with them for several weeks. So, but I guess my favorite project, as far as I will include now a director's producer session, was last year getting a producer call back with Joel Cohen and reading with Frances McDormand. That was like it was for a new film, Macbeth. I didn't book it, but just reading with her, sitting with her in a room, and she was my reader, was like, holy moly.
That's awesome.
This is pretty cool.
Wow.
I'm gonna say you're wrong on that, Anne. I think I know what your best role is.
Oh, here we go.
What?
It's very obviously your part in Puppet Master, The Littlest Reich.
Did you watch that?
I'm a huge horror fan.
Yeah.
So I was like, everyone at some level has an origin or a step in the horror genre.
Yeah.
And I was like, I gotta find it. And then bam. There she is. I found the one.
You're not
With
wrong.
the blonde hair. Right?
Really,
The blonde
really
hair.
good movie. Really good film, I gotta say. Like, I'm a huge fan of that franchise. It's got a lot of duds, and this is like, for a revival, newish kind of film in that series, it's actually really good. Plus, there's that guy from Reno 911, that main actor guy. I forget his name, but yeah.
I'm not.
Thomas Lennon.
Yes.
I'm terrible with
He's
names.
awesome. Yeah, he's awesome.
Good
Yeah,
film.
and so was Matthias Huss, who's actually an action film star. But Cinestate is a great company to work with. Dallas Saunier, producer, and yeah. Anyway, it was fun.
What's that audition like? Like, oh, you're German. You have a nice accent. Cool.
So
you're in this movie.
So here's the
About
thing.
Nazi
No.
puppets.
Yeah, right. So here's the thing. I auditioned for a much smaller part for the girl, the girl who reads the book. That was the name of the role. And I went in and I auditioned and I stepped outside and I saw all the sides of the other roles who were auditioning the same day. And I saw that and I saw written in German. I'm like, huh. And I saw, but that was written for a guy. So I know the casting director, Buffalo Casting. I know them really well. So when the other actor came out, I was like, hey, Tisha, can I audition for this role? I know it's written for a guy, but would you mind? She's like, no, absolutely. Come on in. So I auditioned for that role that was originally written for a man. I booked it. They rewrote it for a woman.
Wow.
And added several scenes more into it. So that's how this all came Yeah.
You hear that,
that's
Twitter?
nuts.
You hear
I
that,
like
Twitter?
that.
See,
I like
sometimes
that.
it works the other way, okay?
I love that.
That's
I really
that's
love
a
that.
fantastic story. That's awesome. All right, we're getting close to the nitty gritty here, so we're going to give you the final question, which is probably the hardest question you will ever have to answer.
No, I don't want to do this to her.
We have to. It's tradition. Every guest ever has had to answer this question, and so you now have to answer this question. It's a simple question. It's a this or that. It's a binary answer. There are only two possible answers. Okay, so you shouldn't struggle at all. As a matter of fact, I'm confident that you will not struggle at all.
I'm scared now.
No. You shouldn't be. You shouldn't be scared. Although maybe you should be. I don't know. Simple question. Seriously, a baby can answer it. My cat can answer it.
Yeah.
Okay. The question is, Andy or Steve?
Well, Andy reached out to me.
Here it is.
So I would say Andy.
See, unfair advantage. Andy is the person that books all of our guests. So
There you go.
You know what? It is what it is. It is what it is. I will take that L because Andy, without you, we would have 0 guests. So I'm going to let you have this victory for these 7 days until our next show, when somebody obviously cannot not fall in love with my charm. So it's eventually it's going to happen, and that's going to be it. Folks, that's going to bring us to the end of the episode. This has been the Dual Screens Podcast, the world's #1 gaming indie developer news podcast, whatever, interview podcast, excuse me, starring 2 people you've never heard of, probably. The show's going to post each and every Friday, so please tune in to that. If you want to get the shows early, go to patreon.com/NDS podcast, where they will post on Mondays for you if we record them early enough, which we have been on a roll. We have been about a month ahead of almost everything. So it's been great. Folks, if you are watching this on YouTube, please consider hitting the subscribe button. That's youtube.com/dualscreens.tv. Follow us on social media. We are at dual_screens on Twitter, at dual screens on Instagram. I am at Batchild27. Andy is at Pantsguy. And where could everybody follow you?
At Beyer777. That's my Instagram handle.
Awesome. Are there any closing remarks you want to tell the fans that are looking for more information on Returnal? Because I believe this show is releasing the day the game comes out. So why don't we tell everybody? Oh yeah, let's tell everybody about your Twitch that you're going to be doing, where that's going to happen, where they could find you doing that, what time if you know it, we're peek behind the curtain. We're recording this 12 days before the release of the game. So we there's still things that are going to be worked out, but do you know the Twitch handle that it's going to be showing on?
I don't know exactly. I know the guys who are doing it, but I don't know their Twitch handle. But if you guys follow me on Instagram, I will definitely post about it. So awesome. A couple of days ahead. So you will definitely find it. And if you guys want to know more about me and my acting career, just go on imdb.me/Ann Beyer, and you can watch my reel, you can see what I'm up to and news projects and all that.
Awesome. And it was an absolute pleasure having you here. This was an excellent show, and I cannot wait to get my hands on this game. And don't you worry, we are going to be tweeting about your face for months. So please be excited. And remember which podcast reached out to you to want to speak to you first.
I will.
That's going to do it for us, folks. Thank you so much for listening. Thank you, Andy. Thank you, Ann. Thank you, listeners. And as always, please be excellent to each other.